Hello? Is the audio working? Are you able to hear me? Ah, there we go. There we go. Hi, everyone. First live ever. Welcome over here. Is the audio okay? Is it too loud? Is it too soft? Let me know. This is you're here for the first run. Well, thank you for being here. I really do appreciate it. We're not going to be on too long since this is the first time that I am, in fact, trying this. Hello. Hello to Rebecca and Sulesio and Love for Red. Mila baby. So our girl is remonetized. She is back on YouTube. People are over there congratulating her. I don't know if you've had a chance to look in. I only caught about 3 minutes, and 3 minutes was enough. So, what's going to be interesting to see is if she is going to continue with this so called health arc that she is doing, because I do have some thoughts and ideas about the stunt that she did pull the other day when she was crying about Salah and about going on her Ozempic. I think there's a lot more to that than what she is saying, and in a sense I feel that she did substantiate a lot of things that we thought of. She was dancing. Oh, I have not had a chance to catch up with her today fully, except for the fact of like her being remonetized. So she was dancing from joy. You are. Thank you, Jaden. I know this is a first. I didn't think if I that I could pull it off. You probably saw me attempt it a few times in the last half hour. It wasn't working on my end. So I do hope that it is working smoothly on your end. I heard that Amberlynn has not gotten her channel back, although I have not been keeping up with Amberlynn because listening to Amberlynn feels like a hole puncher is having its way with my brain. Listening to her speak is very difficult and very challenging. I think Rosie, who I have not kept up with at all whatsoever, I don't know very much about her at all. I think Rosie did get her channel back, and now Foodie does. So we'll see about Amberlynn. But I hear that like she's making a mess of things over at Lolcow and getting herself into trouble and being very dramatic and over the top. Yeah, I think Amberlynn was the first one, followed by Rosie, and then it was Foodie who got demonetized. What's getting me is the fact that there are people over there right now on Foodie's channel who are saying, oh, we're so proud of you. Like, what did she do? She's done nothing but lay on that clown couch each day, every day. So I don't know what there is to be proud of. If anything, there's a lot of things not to be proud of. So I don't know. And she's already complaining about not being able to eat the way that she wants to over there. But she does plan on cooking and having food, just not talking about her various issues. So it's very interesting that somebody who does have, what is it, 110,000 subscribers that she allegedly has, and we know that those are suspect, that the only content that she feels that she can come up with is surrounding food and eating. Exactly. What is there to be proud of? Yep, cussing out mall guards, passing gas, behaving badly, crying about Salah. Yeah, but they're proud of her. That's why I checked out in 3 minutes. It's like ridiculous. So, what I found interesting was, what was it now, 2 days ago, I believe, where she said that she broke up with Salah and she started crying again and behaving the way that Foodie typically behaves. I think it told us a lot about Malaysia. I think it told us a lot about who put an end to Malaysia and what the truth is behind her supposedly starting her Ozempic. Now, I know that many believe that there was never a Malaysia trip to begin with, and I do think there was, only because of her birthday. And she was teeth whitening. She was whitening her teeth, and we know she wouldn't just do that if there was like nothing in the works for her. And it's a silly thing to say, but when it comes to Foodie, the fact that she was like whitening her teeth, I think was like her trying to prepare to see Salah. And I think, as I've said in other videos, that she was trying to entice him with this trip. On the one hand, it was a birthday trip for her, but then on the other hand, I think it was just her way of just trying to suck him back into her orbit. So I do think there was a Malaysia trip. I think it started off as a lie. And I do think at some point she figured, hey, my birthday's coming up. I need to do something about my birthday. Salah's drifting further and further away from me. So let me try to like put this trip together, which is why she referred to it as a goal and said that if she did fulfill this goal, that it would be a very big deal. So that was number one. When it got called off, and I've said this before, I think it was him. I think that he got very tired. Um, oh yeah, he is playing her hard. If that is him, and it's questionable if it is him or if it's him all the time, then yes, he is playing her hard. He probably knows that she was trying to get remonetized this month. Because remember, she said it was going to take approximately a month for her to get an answer. So I think he's been like back lingering around because of that, because he did say like, oh yeah, I can't wait to do vlogs. Like that's the primary thing on his mind. So this Malaysia trip was supposed to be an opportunity for them to do these vlogs, because she had factored in the fact that if she did get remonetized, it would be prior to her birthday. So she would get remonetized, they'd go to Malaysia, she would do blogs or vlogs, or truth be told, she'd be laying around in the hotel room, is what she would be doing. So I think that's how the Malaysia thing came to be. And then I think he saw how she was behaving in public. He saw that she was just eating more and more instead of like legitimately working on improving herself. So it's been what now, 5 months since she's been back from Syria? Yeah, the whole trip thing has been very weird. Totally. Absolutely. But I think like she was the mastermind behind all of it. She wants us to believe that Salah paid for it. The other day she slipped up and she said, oh, they canceled the flights and they said that, they would give a refund. I need to tell Salah. Like, how would you know that if you are not the person who the airline is corresponding with? And the only reason they're corresponding with you is because you're the one who booked it and paid for it. That's what's going on there with her. But I do think he's the one who said, I'm not doing this. I don't want to be sitting around in the hotel the entire time. And that he wasn't going to go through with this. This was before world events were happening. I think that her allegedly going on Ozempic was for him to show him like, hey, look at me. I'm making an effort. I don't want to be this way. So I think that had a lot to do with him and trying to convince him that she has like intentions to do better. So she confirmed just in that one stream that she did alone, she confirmed that Malaysia was her idea, that she was not the one paying for it, that he's the one who called it off, not her. And the fact that she's even considering Ozempic was because of him, but it takes it further. In that same stream, she in fact was worried about her finances. She said she wouldn't know how to make ends meet, that she doesn't know how she could even afford this place, that she looks around her apartment and that she's even bewildered by the fact that like she is able to pull it off. And I think the tears had more to do with, if I'm taking this medication, it's going to cut into the way that I make my money. And I think that's what those tears were about. And all that talk about finances, because she knew she can't do one and the other at the same time. Thus, all the waterworks. So, yeah, the whole trip thing has been weird. Her behavior has been weird. And him, just like the way he's been, just like back supposedly, is also very strange. And she was claiming that she broke up with him because, oh, he's going to go off and marry like a cousin or something like that, which apparently he took like, he didn't take to that too well. So lucky her, I guess. You know, now she can be on YouTube and she's remonetized. And somebody asked her like what she was going to do about her eating habits and if she was just going to keep the eating on, what is it that she's on Kick? If she was going to do that. And she said she would be talking about that at a later point. She would be talking about that at another time. So we shall see what she does with all of that. But either way, like, I don't know. It, this whole arc, and I've said this to some of you, this whole arc, I don't think it's going to end very well. Why do I think he's keeping her hooked emotionally? He always comes back. Is it just for money? I think that is a big part of it for sure. And I think like that possibility of Canada continues to linger regardless of whether it is realistic or not. She's been talking about that more. She's been talking about, well, if I sponsor him, you know, that's going to take a while. It's not so easy. He can't just like pick up and go. And he made a comment in one of her live streams in the last couple of days, and he said something about like, oh yeah, that's why we have to go to Malaysia first before we go to your country of Canada. Like, very weird. Hey Shannon, welcome here, first live stream, yay. Hopefully not the last, we'll see. We will see. So yeah, I think it's money. I think he is the child that she is sponsoring overseas, or Julia is. Um, and I do think that Canada still like lingers there. It might take a while, it might take several years, but who knows what she's telling him about that? Maybe she's pretending that she's making progress on that front. I think like the deceit goes both ways. I don't know. So I think it's a two-way street, but yeah, he's playing her, she is playing him. If you remember before her going to Kuwait, like people were warning her and saying to her, like, oh, he's a romance scammer, this and that. And she's made a comment to the effect of, oh, you think I haven't thought of that? Don't worry, I have things that I can do as well. So who knows what she has on him, because she has made statements before that she has things on him that she could expose. The other thing that she's been talking about lately in the last couple of weeks is that her streaming for 12 hours or 24 hours and how she wants to attempt to do that. And the timing is suspect. And the timing is suspect because it was April 30th of last year when she did that 12-hour live stream in Kuwait. So she's had plenty of opportunities to do very long live streams, and she does. She's on for the majority of the time, but like one long block of like 12 hours. But she's bringing it up now. Like, what's the significance of like April, March and April? There has to be something for her to bring it up again. What do I think about the text that she's showing? His first response to not going on the trip. Yeah, vlogs, exactly. Like that indicates that this was supposed to be a business trip for them to make vlogs. And I think it speaks to the effect of her being his business partner, or at least that's what he's telling his family. I think it also speaks to the fact that that's how he perceives her as a business partner. And remember, a couple of months ago, he called her that. She got upset and claimed to have broken things off. And then she asked him, "Oh, do you love me?" And he said, "Leave me alone, Chantal." So I think business partner is the way he perceives the whole arrangement, whereas she obviously has like those romantic feelings. But for him, I think this was a business transaction from the get-go. Goal number one, the initial goal being Canada. But I think thereafter, whatever schemes they've cooked up, whether it was like grifting schemes or whatever, like he views that whole relationship as being roommates and having been roommates and business partners. And I think the business partner piece continues still. And that's what part of Malaysia was supposed to be. She wants money. Yes, she does. That's why she's so happy about being remonetized. Totally. That's all she cares about, really. That and food. He is hiding stuff from his family. I think so too. Hi, Ashley is over it. I'm over it too. She's remonetized. It's like, ugh, for sure. But not over you guys, obviously. Oh, thank you so much. Whole 180 with Aaliyah. Thank you. I appreciate that. Um, Yeah, I think he's hiding things from his family. I think he's telling his family something to the effect of her being like a business partner, an investor maybe in his business, that he is her YouTube manager. Because remember when the whole Kuwait thing started, I think on his Facebook, he had something to that effect that he was a YouTube manager and he was giving people tips and ideas. So he could be telling his family that that's what they do, that they're in like the content creation type of business. I know, Ashley, me too. I was surprised, frankly. But do we think it's going to last though? Do we think like this is going to be long term, or is she going to do something and she's going to blow it and get demonetized again? Like, I don't have that much faith in her because she's very insistent on eating on camera. And we know why she wants to do that, because that is her calling card to a certain population with a certain type of interest. So it'll be interesting to see how long it lasts. I don't know. I don't have faith in her. I think he wanted to hurt her feelings when he said business partner. That too, for sure. The more he rejects her, the more hooked she gets. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. And I was wondering about that individual as well the last couple of days. So on the day specifically where she was saying that I broke up with Salah, and once again, he had no clue. He didn't know that they broke up the same way he didn't know that Malaysia trip was happening. Um, yeah, totally disappointed. Um, when she made that stream talking about her having broken up with Salah and all of that, she was wearing her special shirt, the shirt in question, and she's also been using a lot of language that she would use when she was interacting with the swordfish. So I've been wondering if in fact she did text Salah about them breaking up, if it's because she's trying to, in some way, shape, or form, or is hoping to, or already is in contact with swordfish. She was going on and on and on about how she needs to find somebody who appreciates her the way she is and is unconditional about it and just accepts all of her habits and doesn't judge her. She already has that. She's got Pete's. Pete's accepts her. Pete's loves her. Everything that she was saying Pete's checks off every single box of all of her wants. He's the only person. And yet she overlooks him, doesn't consider him, and Pete's is only around when it suits her. Whenever she needs Pete's. Whenever she needs the company. For sure. It will be easier to report her on YouTube. Yeah, that's my understanding as well. I don't know much about Kick. I haven't been on there, which is why I haven't been able to keep up with her as much. But yes, I agree. That's what I'm hearing, that it's easier to report her on YouTube. And the fact that she already has like the history with YouTube of being demonetized, not just once but twice. Maybe reporting her if she does do something that violates TOS will be easier. Like, she's clearly on their radar already. When Salah entered the chat, the way her yes, I noticed that too. All of the darting. Yes, absolutely. She was being totally shifty. Totally shifty. And that's usually when she's being dishonest, when she's trying to think quickly in terms of like what to say, what to prepare to say, either to him or to her chat. That's when she does that eye darting thing. Absolutely. For sure. Yeah, she only does love the one who rejects her. Yes. And yeah, I agree about Pete's and her being equals. Absolutely. Yeah, she goes exactly where there is rejection. She's like a glutton, not just for food, but for punishment as well. Is the audio okay? Let me know if it's not, because again, this is the first stream ever and I'm not sure of the settings. I just want it to be comfortable for all of you, the sound and the volume. And clear. And apologies for any background noise. There always will be. I can't control for that, unfortunately. But yeah, Pete's is her match. Pete's loves her. Pete's is her best friend, but she doesn't perceive him in that way. At one point she did, but not anymore. So, oh, thank you, Casey. I'm glad to hear that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what kind of messes she gets herself into. Oh, good. I'm glad that it's clear. Thank you. Good. Thank you for the feedback. Yeah. So, I mean, I think one thing we can be sure of with Foodie is that it will be a disaster of one form or another. You know, she says she wants to change her ways and she does all of these things which end up being performative. Again, 2 days ago, she said that after she had gotten her medication, she said that she had an appointment with a doctor. It happened to be, I believe, a Muslim doctor, I think she said. And of course she canceled it and now says that she has an appointment in April. So she really is not doing anything besides the occasional telehealth to really address her various issues, which are plenty and appear to be multiplying by the day. For sure. Thank you again, Whole 180 with Aaliyah. Yay, Lady Gray. Yeah, I like it too. I know. I wanted to do this at the end of last year, but I wasn't able to pull it off because of my schedule, which is pretty dreadful and terrible. So that's why like my videos on Foodie are like sporadic and inconsistent. The only doctor she's seeing is Dr. Pepper. Yes, absolutely. And Dr. Chat GPT, who I think also writes some of those text messages as well. Like, she was writing fiction a week or so ago about like what Salah texted her during wartime and what he said about, if anything happens to me, just know that I love you, and all of this stuff. Like, it sounded like fan fiction. So I don't know. I think she had a hand with Chat GPT on that one. So Dr. Pepper, Dr. Chat GPT, and also Dr. TikTok. That's her other doctor. Those are the three that she visits. I know. I am baffled by that too, Evelyn Salt. I am baffled by that too, because like she would need, at a minimum, she would need blood work. So the fact that she's getting prescriptions, I don't know. And who knows what she's telling them, because we know she's not honest. We know that the numbers that she throws out and that she tells us like are inaccurate. You guys saw the short that I put up, I don't know, about a month ago or so now, maybe longer, where she accidentally admit that she was like over 380. She's been telling everybody in her chats that she was 340. Who knows what she's telling the doctor? She's not honest. She might want to present her situation as being better than it is, although she did admit the other day that she had gained a whole lot of weight in the matter of a week. And it's not surprising given all of the things that we have been seeing her consume. But yeah, what is she telling these doctors? You know, is she telling them about her breathing, about her mobility? Which, yes, she is mobile, but just like it's not comfortable for her. I don't know. But apparently all her ailments went out the window if she was in fact dancing. like you guys said. So who knows? That's what she's claiming. Uh, that would mean that she's less than she was at the end of December, because like the numbers she threw out at the end of December when she was planning on doing the Pilates, she's like, oh yeah, I would have to lose this much. Oh, and it's this number of kilos. And at that point, it was like over 380. But yet she's telling us now that she's gained over 10 pounds or whatever in a week, but yet it's still lower than December. She doesn't track things properly. She also doesn't remember the things that she says. And of course, when one lies as prolifically as she does, it's hard to do that. Like her default setting, and I've said this many times in our comments, her default setting is to lie. Any question, any comment, anything, it's like lie first and then clear things up later. Yes, she is changing her dosages. Yes. She was doing with her I know, I saw that too. What was that? Yes, she was doing something funny. Like, I didn't know if she was trying to be seductive, like licking her upper lip, or what she was trying to do. She was doing something. Was that for Salah? I don't know. Was she trying to eat her lip? I don't know. She does. She looks like she consumes a lot of sodium. Like she just has that look. It's very difficult to describe, but like and she has been. I mean, all the things that she eats are very sodium heavy. So she was looking like she had a lot of sodium consumption. Yeah, she can barely walk. I mean, the breathing after just like a few steps or even just sitting down on the clown couch. Yeah, for sure. Ah! Oh, Teardrop's another one. Oh, Teardrop. Oh, Teardrop, the co-signer of Foodie Beauty. Anything Foodie Beauty says, Teardrop will be there to co-sign it. Yes. Yes. Could be. It could have been dry mouth. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it was for special audience. Who knows? I noticed that as well. I noticed that as well. Ugh. Very strange. Foodie's an interesting one. That is for sure. That is for sure. Another thing that she forgot. So I think it was yesterday or the day before. Yeah, we'll get to Teardrop as well because Teardrop, she's there. It's it's not lost to me why they get along. Let's put it that way. Um, Teardrop herself has had issues with the pets. Teardrop herself has said, and I do have a screenshot of this, of like how her cats were looking at her because they were hungry and she hadn't bought any cat food for them, so they had to go without. We all know all of the other stories of Teardrop. Teardrop likes to have a lot of attention. We see how she's always calling Foodie Beauty. Um, She wants Foodie Beauty's attention. Not so much from the chat, but she always wants like Foodie's attention. It's always Chantal in capital letters and like repeating what she said to make sure that Foodie saw it. So, hey, the real Daisy May. I'm happy to be here as well. Thank you for being here. So, Teardrop, I don't know, they have a very strange relationship, although I think it's primarily one-sided. I do think that Foodie trusts Teardrop the most. However, her level of concern for Teardrop is not equal to the way that Teardrop gets concerned about Foodie. So we know that Teardrop was having issues with her heat and she was having issues with her stove a couple of months back, and Foodie, interestingly, was not really paying attention to those messages in her chat when Teardrop was putting that out there. She was focused on many other things. He eats out of the trash. Yes, he does. And from the floor. He picked up hot dogs from the floor. From the floor. Thank you so much, DH. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, to an extent, yes. Without getting into too much detail, yes. So my background is I do have background in psychology, as well as in mental health counseling, as well as in how do I put this? Let's just say I know a scam when I see it. So in fraud, also white collar fraud specifically. You like my user pick? Thank you. Yeah, I didn't know what to do. Like it was nothing for the longest time. You can? Oh, I think I don't know. She's an interesting person to read, quite honestly. Yeah, she's an interesting one. She has so many tells. She has a poor memory. What I was going to say before was that she forgot, I think, that she did have a whole conversation about tipping right around the time that she took BG to the vet. She had said that she barely tips, or that she tips, I think, $2 or $3 on all of her deliveries. And people got on her about that. So if you've been watching her clips of her over the last month or so, she has been really highlighting the fact that she's been tipping. She's like, oh, yeah, I got this and I tipped $15 and they brought me my groceries and I tipped $20. She didn't do that prior to a month ago when she was called out on that. But I guess she forgot now because just the other day there was that whole tipping conversation yet again. It was almost rinse repeat. Like, oh, but I shouldn't have to pay for their gas. I shouldn't have to do this. And she was looking up how much like DoorDash and other platforms of that nature make. So, yeah. Yeah. She has a lot of tells, and she acts like when she gets called out on something, even though she denies it, she overcompensates for it like after the fact. They are, and they have been slipping since she was in Kuwait. And about a year ago, I did do a video on that about how she is deteriorating both physically and cognitively. Absolutely. And I think a lot of that does have to do with her state of health. Like, if you're just, she's consuming so much grease and other things that are not good for her, like, it ultimately catches up to you in those ways cognitively. She does. Yeah, exactly. So people who deliver her groceries or bring her multiple like DoorDashes a day are not supposed to get any tips, but she's supposed to get tipped just for going live, just for clicking that button. Yep, she sure did. Got called out on it, changed her tune, and then overcompensated by saying how much she tips. How much she tips every single time. And we know that she doesn't. We know that she doesn't because she's not wired to do that. And Foodie has a hard time breaking her habits, and not tipping is a habit, right? So If not tipping is a habit, what's the likelihood that she would change that habit instantly? Not going to happen. It doesn't work that way. She sure did. Yes, the liver and the kidneys. I know. With the CPAP. And I don't know if she noticed or if anyone else noticed, but I think it was when she went to, I believe it was the Starbucks. She was going through the drive-through on her scooter. I think it was the Starbucks. And right next to it, there was a place that said CPAP and something about one of like her other health conditions. I don't know, diabetes or something like that, like right next to the Starbucks. I was like, she should stop there first, get her CPAP sorted out, because I know she was talking about needing to get things for it at one point. She does have problems, but the frustrating thing with her is that she does absolutely nothing to correct that. Like, you're back in Canada. You've been back in Canada, what is it, 5 months now? She got back end of October. Yeah, 5 months. And she has yet to see a doctor. 5 months is a long time. That's self-neglect. That is neglect. How could you not, like, for 5 months? And one of the things, if you remember when she was leaving Syria, was like, yes, I have to get myself together. I have to address all of like my health concerns. When she got back, she said she had like to address her mental health, her physical health. She said she was going to do Islamic counseling. She said she was going to do all these things. How much of it has she done? Zero. She went, I think, to urgent care to sort out her abscess, boil, cellulitis, whatever it was. And that was about it. And maybe has had one or two telehealth. She lied about doing mental health, about therapy, because she said she doesn't need it. Ultimately, that's what she said, even though she was pretending to attend and that she had intakes and all of these things. She doesn't. Yeah, what happened to the cellulitis? What happened? What happened to it? What happened to it? We don't hear about it anymore. It's amazing how her conditions just kind of like come and go. She remembers them when they're convenient, when she wants to utilize them for something. I don't know, no cellulitis. We'll see what the next thing is that pops up. Although maybe things won't pop up for a while now that she has her platform, because it's like a shiny object to her, right? Even though she's been on YouTube forever, like the fact that she was demonetized, now her being back, like YouTube is the shiny object. So I think she's going to forget about certain things for a while until they're convenient, until it's convenient for her to remember them. For sure. Absolutely. I don't know. And she only addressed that supposedly by going to urgent care or maybe to the ER. I forget. It wasn't a doctor though, because she still hasn't seen one. And now she doesn't plan to see one until April, which she then accidentally said May, but maybe May is like the truth. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So that glowy box that's on the screen, that was supposed to display the chat. And I'm seeing like the occasional message pop up there, but it was supposed to be like a rolling type of situation, type of deal, like Berlin says. Um, but it seems to not be working, and that's what was giving me trouble before when I was like coming on live and then clicking off because chat wasn't working. But I could still see your messages. It appears you could all see each other's messages, so that is good. So hopefully I'll have this figured out for the next one. So I don't know. She's probably going to stream for 10 hours now that she got it back. I would not be surprised. And it's like, she keeps telling us that she doesn't have time, that she didn't have time to do A or B or whatever the case may be, or to like call the doctor, whatever. But yet she has nothing but time. So it's like, what are you doing with your day? You're clearly doing something with your day. I don't know. Can we discuss how bad Sally must want to get out of the Middle East? How can he stand people thinking he's with her? What I thought was really interesting, and I guess this was like for the sake of his family, and it was the only way that he could explain the whole situation, was that when she went to Syria, he was wearing his wedding band or a ring. He was. I did include that in one of the videos at the time. um he did put that ring on, but I guess he has to explain, this woman showed up, I didn't invite her, she showed up, I guess I have to like go along with this and say that I'm like married. Yeah, he probably does, especially now with everything that's going on. I'm sure that he does want to potentially explore or have the option of Canada there, absolutely. But I do wonder what he's saying to people. And she goes on and on about like how much he loves her and he hasn't handed in those divorce papers, or she doesn't know what she signed. We don't even know if there were papers. Who knows? She could have signed that she's like a business part. Who even knows what she did? But yeah, and then, they can't display affection in public, but yet she told us that she found pictures of him at some cafe or restaurant with some girl. And I forget if he had his arm around her, but it's just like, I don't know. I think he's telling people different stories about her depending on the circumstances. I do think they're friends though on some level. I mean, they had to be. They were roommates. Um yeah, I think they're friends to a point, but of course she wants more. She definitely wants more. We'll see. Yeah, and now that she's going to be back on like the monetization, the payout schedule for YouTube, it'll be interesting to see the extent of his appearances and if he makes appearances more often in her chat and how that all plays out. Because Malaysia clearly is not happening. I think she was scheduled to fly out on the 24th. The world events are preventing that from happening. But yeah, how she's making enough money to live on. Her food is at least, her food is more. I think she also said yesterday that she went to the mall and that she spent well over $100 just on like getting things. Yeah, whether it's takeout or groceries. Yeah, she spends well over $100 a day. Oh, thank you so much, Peaked Five. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm glad you're here and I'm glad you think so. Um, I don't know. Like she was wondering that the other day herself. I do think she's making special interest content. I do think that's the reason why she was crying. She got on those medications and she knows that if she stays on those medications, it's going to cut into her special interest content. She won't be able to do both, which is why she was bringing up finances at the same time that she was bringing up that medication. With Foodie, it's really important to see how she strings her thoughts together and the things that she says. Um, like within the same sentence, conversation, within those moments. So her talking about medication and talking about her finances and how she won't be able to like afford things and how she wonders how she gets by is very, 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 very telling. Hey, Gen X Mind 67. Nice to see you here. Welcome. How she says things, the way she says things, the statements that she makes in proximity to each other are very telling. Talking about your medication that you're going on it and then crying about your finances, to me says you're worried that this is going to impact your finances because you won't be able to rake in the money that you're raking in on the side from making that kind of content. So it's what she says, how she says it, and what else she says around it. Hello, hello. So it's reading just like everything about her. And then of course there's like the added stuff. Most of the time, like I listen to her. Because I feel like I don't know, I catch more of like what she says by listening to her rather than watching her. And just like speech patterns. Her speech patterns. are very telling. And we all have them, but like with her, they're pretty clear. In addition to obviously all of the contradictions, the poor memory and not remembering what she said a few days ago and then contradicting it later. So she's an interesting read, and actually it was her contradictions that got me started on making videos about her and commentary. And it all started off when, remember that, was it Aisha? Remember Aisha? Her friend, she was a beezer, and then she went rogue and said she was going to get lawyers to go to Kuwait and go after Foodie and stuff. They were talking about Salah's family, and she was saying that, oh, Salah's family doesn't even like her. Then Foodie came about and said, no, they do. How dare you say that? She couldn't remember the fact, or she had hoped that we had forgotten that early Kuwait, she told us about Salah's father not accepting her. She had told us that herself. And that was when I started making videos like, hold on here. No. You told us that they don't accept you. Why are you now like changing the story? So she doesn't remember, or hopes that we forget. She hopes our memory is like hers. Which is also like a reason, like, my schedule, but then also just like, I do more like longitudinal things about Foodie, not necessarily recaps, because it's more like piecing the things that she has said like yesterday versus something that she said a few months ago and making those connections. Yeah, that was interesting, huh? How did she just like appear of all people? Like it's a beezer who's like there? I don't know. I need to think about that more. I think she's made herself, Foodie that is, has made herself very well known. Number one, she hasn't been hiding where she is and where she lives. Number two, she's quite a spectacle when she's out there, like on the road on her scooter. But the fact that like a beezer, like a lot of people see her out there, but they don't know she's Foodie Beauty, like the infamous person on YouTube and on all the other platforms. So the fact that it was a beezer is interesting. Is it coincidental? I don't know. I don't know. They both seemed very comfortable with each other. Like there was no hesitation there, neither on Squeaky Girl nor on Foodie. She's like, hey, you want to ride? Foodie was like, yeah. Like she wasn't worried about it. But then again, like Foodie always thinks of her needs first, and she wanted a ride. She didn't want to be stuck out there. So she wasn't going to hesitate to get in her vehicle. I mean, it was nice of her to offer, I suppose, but yeah, it was a little bit, I don't know. I'd have to think back on like if that username was brought up in chat and in what context. But it was definitely a turn of events for sure. I thought of that too. Because remember, and even early on, remember there was somebody who said, like, I know where you live, and they were like showing video of Foodie's building. This was before she was doxxed or before she doxxed herself. There was that person early on putting out videos. So who knows? It could have been. Yeah, why is this person just like lingering around, just happens to be there, knows who she is? I don't even recall if she asked for directions or if she knew where Foodie's building was. So maybe it is that person. I don't want to accuse her of that, but like, who knows? Like, that's, I don't know. Yeah. And then there was the one in the mall, I think. People were taking pictures of her in the mall and they were posting those also, like from above in the mall, from one of like the higher levels. Maybe that was her also. I don't know. Is Squeaky like the new Nadia? You all know Nadia, right? The one who popped in her window. Pre-Kuwait. Nadia was a character. She should have kept Nadia around. It would have given us some comic relief. For sure. Oh, on the train. Yeah. So there were a couple of pictures. There were the mall pictures. There were the train pictures. There was the pictures of her on the road also. I know somebody posted those. I don't know. I haven't followed her enough to see. Um, Somebody said that she's a person who's relatively quiet in her chats, but I do remember the name, but nothing significantly, I don't think. So I haven't looked into the whole squeaky situation other than beyond the whole giving her a ride situation. But yeah, very odd. Good timing, I guess, that Squeaky happened to be there right when the scooter broke down. There's a rant? Uh-oh. What was the rant about? I have not seen it. Was it recent? Was it a while ago? What was she ranting about? Was she ranting about Foodie or about like the community? About all of us? Who was she ranting about? I need to look into that. Anything from today I haven't caught up on, other than the fact that she's remonetized and just a few like moments of that, but like the last 24 hours, not much. About us? Oh no, what did we do? We're no good? Was it really bad? What did we do? We're a bunch of no goods? We're terrible for commenting on Foodie and her antics? Foodie likes attention. She has said it several times recently that she likes attention. And that she doesn't like doing things if she's not getting attention. So I think Foodie's issue, she wants the attention from people like us, but she doesn't like the things that we say and the things that we pinpoint. Because I think sometimes, or most of the time, we get really, really close to the truth, and that's the part that's threatening. Disgusting haters. I wouldn't say I'm a hater. I don't think we're haters. Not haters. I think we're observant. I think we call her out on her inconsistencies. I think many of us would like to see her do better and correct her ways. I don't know. Thank you, DH. Howdy, Ruthie 101. Yeah, I wouldn't call us haters. I just think we're very observant and we notice her patterns and we call out those patterns. And sometimes I think we know her better than she knows herself. Yeah, I don't think we're haters either. No, I don't. Like, if anything, we would want to see her do better and change her ways, right? Change the way she perceives things. Like, the way that she views things is problematic. Let's put it that way. Hi, Siwa's TB1. Not a hater, no. Yeah, analyzing her. Pattern recognition bees. Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting to observe. I think so too. And very frustrating. She's a frustrating person. Right, we're always rooting for them to do better, and it becomes very frustrating when they don't. I think, although Ruthie, I think she had no choice to come back. I think she was booted out. I think his family had a lot to say about that. I don't think it's what she claims that, oh, I decided I needed to leave. No, I think she was told she had to go. That's why she keeps saying that she can't go back to Syria. She would be there right now if she could go. If she could go to Syria right now, she would absolutely be there right now. I don't doubt that one bit. I think she's not allowed to. And I think Salah's father, him showing up the day after she left, I think she might be a reason why. Even if he was planning to go there, the fact that he went there immediately after, it was timed that way. And the fact that he's still there could be because he wants to be there permanently, but I think it's a way to also prevent her from going back there. We count the lies. Yeah, I've lost count though. I have lost count. Learn not to act like them. Yep. I think though, if you're not wired to act like that, you're not going to. People yelling at Pete's got me out of my depressive spiral. Oh, Pete's. Oh, Pete's. Pete's though does better, I think, when he's not with Foodie, is what I think. I think he's just better off on his own. I think she sucks him down with like, or at least in the villa days. I don't know about what would happen now. Yeah, I think so too. The family told, yeah, to send her home. I mean, she accused them of trying to off her. If anything happens to me, it was them. She was always yelling. And she told us herself that there was a neighbor knocking on the door and said, what happened this time? Can you imagine how many things that neighbor must have heard for her to go asking what happened this time and to see if everything's okay? That village must have stories. They must have stories of all the things that they have seen and heard. She was probably getting into fights all the time. And why were they fighting? Because he has a large family. He was spending, because he wanted to, a lot of time with his family. And even if he didn't, I'm sure like he was driving people around and doing favors for them and all of that. She didn't like that. She wants him at her beck and call to do her errands. The other day, again, in that same stream where she was talking about she broke up with Salah, she's on the medication, she doesn't know what she's going to do. She said that one of the things that she misses is that Salah would take care of everything about her, take care of everything. Some videos ago, I referred to him as him being the COO, the chief operating officer of her life. And she essentially admitted that. She admitted it. Him taking care of everything for her, he's the chief operating officer. And I think him spending time with his family was in conflict with him being at her beck and call. So she would get irate, she would rage. They were having fights. The family didn't know what to do. She starts accusing them of terrible things. She was closing the door on the kids. She told us that herself, that she would go in her room and shut the kids out, and they would be banging on her door, trying to get her attention, trying to get her to come out, and she just wouldn't. So she had to go. She could say that it was about her mental health, and her mental health was clearly a problem there, given all that we heard and all that we know about. But I think like it got to a point where she had to come back. And even if it was her choice, I don't think she's allowed to go back. Number one, he would have to arrange things, right? But number two, his dad, like she can't go stay there. That's why she says, if I go get Julia, I have to go get a hotel. I think it was two separate people. It could have been the aunt. I think there was, the aunt was when she was on live stream and there was somebody knocking on the door and we could hear them and Foodie was eating. She was just sitting there, rolling her eyes and eating. And she screamed out, Salah's not here. And the lady kept knocking. And she's like, oh, I think it's Salah's aunt. Yes, Pete's does have a channel. I think I've never watched it, but I think it's Pete's of My Mind. And he sits sideways. Yeah, so neighbor and an aunt, maybe the same person, maybe two different people. Yep. Yeah, she's obvious. Yeah. And if she was as loud as we heard the whole, don't talk to me, people heard that. Yes, and CFO, Chief Financial Officer. Yeah, I mean, she says that she paid off like $10,000 either in her bankruptcy or her taxes or something. I think her bankruptcy. And I think Salah was probably a contributing factor to that as far as her money management. I think he's a lot better at those things than she is. I think he has more control. He knows how to manage any money that he has, whereas she is the complete opposite. So yes, he was her CFO, and I think he did help her in that regard. for sure. She did want to isolate him because she wants him to be her errand person. Yeah, if he's with his family, he's not around to do her errands. She said, and I don't know if anybody caught this, she said that he was had to go out and get her KFG almost every single day or fried chicken every single day while they were in Syria. But notice what she didn't do when in Syria. So we found out that he had to go get her fried chicken every single day in Syria. But what she didn't do is she wasn't making those videos when she was in Syria. The special interest stuff, she couldn't do it unless they were private. And I think that's one of the reasons why she was frustrated with the internet, because she couldn't really do that kind of stuff. For sure. He's disturbed. Yeah, I mean, getting into this whole situation, yeah, you'd kind of have to. Oh, Pete's? Do you mean Pete's is disturbed or Salah? Oh, yeah, the KFG? No. She misses it, though. She definitely misses it. Both? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I probably agree on some level, right? And I think she recognizes on some level that she's not a good influence on Pete's and to some extent on Salah's life, maybe. And that's when she goes into the whole thing like, oh, I can't, he's going to marry his cousin or something like that. For sure. Yeah. All of that stuff. Yep. That stuff. All of the other things that he said. Yeah. Yeah. What does how? I'm debating if I even want to go down that route with all the stuff that he said. And there was then all the other stuff. There's like that whole piece, right? Which we can file under several different categories, but that's just put it under the cheating for Foodie's sake. And then we know that that sort of thing continued, maybe not as far as like the disgusting aspects of it that he talked about. Um, because she told this herself, right? The lady with the boobs who appeared on the phone. And then there's the lady at the restaurant or the cafe that he was sitting with. Which piece got his attention? I think a lot of things she did got a lot of people's attention. I'm telling you, that village has stories for generations. For generations. I would bet. Like, oh yeah, do you guys remember the lady in that house who was always yelling? I would not be surprised. Oh yeah, yes. Yes, her too. Yep. Yeah, there's a bunch. So I think there's a couple of things to that about her. Like, I don't think, yeah, he was texting lots of people. I don't buy the story the way that she said it about what happened at the elephant sanctuary at all, because she considers his jealousy, or what she tells us is his jealousy, his protective jealousy, she considers that as flattery. And if she was talking to men and he got upset, she would be very pleased about that, because to her she translate that as, he's interested, he loves me, look at how he's getting, that means he's like all emotional about me, right? So she wouldn't perceive that as being like this horrible argument where she would say, fine, well, then I don't want to go to the elephants. No, it wouldn't make her stop the activity. It'd make him stop the activity, maybe, but not her. But she told us she's the one who said, well, I don't want to go. So it's either he was talking to those two people who weren't men, but maybe girls from Lebanon. And it's the reverse of what she's saying. I could see that for sure. Or it's the fact that she told those guys that she was his wife, and there was no reason for her to say that in Thailand because they weren't obligated to be married to visit Thailand. There's no rules to be married, to share a hotel room, or to be traveling together in Thailand. So it's either he got upset that she said they're married, or the story's the reverse, where he was talking to two girls behind him or behind them in line who were from Lebanon. We know how she gets about women. We know his history. So that's already a sore spot for her. So she's the one who got irate at him to the point where he was like, what? I was just talking. And she said, forget it. I don't want to do the activities anymore. So I could see it going like that as well. Yeah, that whole swordfish thing at the end of December. Oh, he's totally annoyed. Yeah, because she does things in public that annoy him for sure, or draw attention to him, or draw attention to them. I keep going back to the whole Lulu thing. You guys remember that fight where she was with the Lulu man and she didn't know how to count currency and she didn't know what she was doing? And he was at home, but watching the stream, which was also weird, and getting annoyed with her. I think because if she was being ridiculous, and this was not something for him to get annoyed about at all. He shouldn't have gotten annoyed with that. But I think in his mind, her drawing attention to herself with not knowing how to do the currency or speak any words or anything was drawing attention back to him, even though he wasn't there. Why come up with that story? Because number one, she needs content. She needs something to say to people to fill up time. And then number two, she wants to portray him as a person who has protective jealousy over her. Because again, Foodie wants to be desired. Remember, so some time ago, I had put up a poll. This is probably like, I don't know, going on 2 months ago. And I said that it's something that I was curious about what everybody's impressions were. Like if Foodie wants to be admired or if she wants to be desired. And overwhelmingly, I think it was 92% to 8%, if I remember correctly, everyone said, the majority said that she wants to be desired. And I would agree. So her making up that story is her way of telling everyone that he desires me so much. Look how jealous he gets if I talk to a guy. At least that's the way I read it with her. Oh yeah, we sure did here. Did I notice how thrilled she was when she saw the recent picture of Sasa? She's so chubby. She keeps stealing. So, she can't. So, a thing about Sasa. Audio's good? Yay, great. I'm glad. Thank you. Thank you. When it came to Sasa, and this was something I was going to do a video on, but just going back to her tells and what she says and the way that she speaks and stuff. When she talks about Sasa and the whole money situation, right? The fundraiser that she did. The one thing that she has been consistent about when talking about that, when responding to people about that, when talking about the money, she says, oh, but we helped her. We got her all these outfits and we did this and she went to school, blah, blah, blah. The story always changes, but the outfits don't. So I find that very interesting. I think that what they probably did is they did buy her some outfits with that money. And that was probably the extent of it. Because that is the one thing she says with certainty. Each and every time, if you go back and listen to any of her streams, when asked about Sasa, it's always like, oh yeah, and all these outfits, we bought her these cute outfits, something, something outfits, all of that stuff. So I think she did maybe buy her some outfits, or they did something with outfits, and everything else is just completely murky. Yeah, I think so too. I think he was worried that he would cheat her out of his money because she had absolutely no idea of what the currency was. after 3 years. I think that's a big part of it too. He does have this thing about being cheated out of money, especially her being cheated out of money. Oh yeah, she did say something about she considers that traveling. They fought at the elephant place and she didn't go back for the next 3 weeks or whatever it was. Yeah, I mean, the other thing that's like interesting is how she, goes to another country, goes to the hotel room and considers that traveling. I beg to differ about that. Um, yeah. We don't know. I don't know. Hey, are you serious? Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. So appreciated. Welcome here. I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you. Just having a chat about all of Foodie's various tells and the fact that she's remonetized, obviously, to everyone's chagrin. Yeah, she claims she wasn't giving money to them. So she made that comment when she was still there where she said, "Oh, your family, but they're, I'm good for my money," or something to that effect. Um I don't know if she was talking about Sasa or if she was talking about something much broader. That I'm not sure about. But the child that she's supposedly sponsoring could be Sasa, could be Salah, could be Julia. She has an unhealthy attachment with Sasa. And I wonder if that is because Salah adores her. So she considers Sasa an in to Salah's heart. If I say I love Sasa, how much I miss her, how much I like her, Salah will be much more endeared to me because he loves Sasa so much, which I think he does. Like she'll take whatever he likes and then just make it her own. Again, she has no sense of self. She has no core, no self-awareness. She's acting like Rosie and her. I don't know much about Rosie. I don't. I have to look into Rosie. Hey, Ashley is over it. I did say hello to you before. Oh, sorry. I'm looking at my little box there. Why wouldn't she give money to him? $20 is like a monthly. Yeah, exactly. She doesn't have to throw much his way. Like it goes a lot further there than it does in Canada or in the States, right? So $50 is nothing. Like we said, she spent almost $200 yesterday just on her groceries, going to the mall, and all of the other things she picked up that she's told us about. Exactly. A way to bond. And that's what I think like the way she sees Sasa is a bonding point for the two of them. Because she is his cousin. And I remember Salah talking about like being amazed at like some of the things that Sasa would do. Yeah, I was excited to see me live too. I didn't think I was going to make it. I had a couple of false starts there for sure, but I'm glad everything's working and glad to see everyone here. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Thank you for sharing it. Are you serious? Thank you. Borderline personality disorder and defiance disorder. Just curious if anyone knows. I would say not the former. Yeah, I would say not the former. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you think so. Glad you think so. Yeah, I think she has so many tells there. Her patterns of behavior, her patterns of speech more so. It is tricky, I know. The chat box wasn't working at all, and it's still not. The one on the screen isn't working, so I only see like one pop up every now and then. Hopefully I'll figure it out. For sure. Yeah, $50 is the average salary in Syria. And if she's sending that every month, it goes far for sure. And again, that's all we suspect and all that she's like alluded to. There could be so much more going on behind the scenes. A lot more going on behind the scenes. Yeah, and she has been bringing up Sasa quite a bit lately. She did say that, like, oh, I would have Sasa here if she came here and things to that effect. And that if she had a child, she would want a child just like Sasa. She's just trying to appeal to that man in any which way she can. And I think her medications are another way of doing that. Like, I love Sasa. It's a way to your heart. Look, I'm trying to like change my ways. I'm on this medication now. But then she proceeded to eat a whole bunch of things on live. So I don't know. Do I think she'll be able to stick to whole? Nope, I don't. I think it's going to be a matter of time. She's already planning her mukbangs, I think. Like, she just wants to make food content for whatever reason. That's the only content she can think of making. And even in the lead up to today, when she was talking about, well, will she be monetized on YouTube? Again, she was focusing on her being allowed to make that type of content. So I don't know why she views YouTube as the food channel, unless it's just the way that she attracts people for other things that she does. She said something telling the other day she was on the scooter riding and saying most people would be scared. I'm not. Maybe that's why I'm like this. Yeah. Yeah, she doesn't care. I think because her goal is always to get to like the mall, which is where she's going to get her meal, which is where she's going to get whatever it is that she's seeking in that point in time. So I think like fear goes out the window because the goal that she is trying to pursue is typically like going to a fast food place to satisfy her cravings. She likes Sasa because she is not a threat to her fragile ego. That too. Exactly. That too. For sure. No, she doesn't. She's very much in the moment. Very much in the moment. She isn't scared most of the time. She should be terrified in her body. She did say when she had her boil, was it? Remember she had the boil when she was in Kuwait at the very last months of Kuwait. She had that whole other boil and she was telling us about what happened with it. And she said something to the effect of her not being afraid to die and that that's just the way she is and she just doesn't think of it. And she's been very morbid since she's been back to Canada about her lifespan. I've noticed that as well, that she knows that she's not going to have a long one. But it's like, wouldn't you take the steps to make sure that you do? Even if it's like because you want to be with Salah, putting all of our other thoughts about that aside, if you want to be with him so badly, wouldn't you take the steps to be better, to be healthier so that you could be for longer if that was legitimately on the table? So yeah, I don't know. It's that self-destructiveness that she has. Like just being on the road the way that she is. She doesn't. She doesn't care. She doesn't have the ability to project the outcome of her poor decisions. She is out there. I think she also has this false sense. She doesn't have self-awareness. She doesn't have like a core sense of self. But I think she has this like self-assurance that the things that she is doing in the moment are going to pan out in her favor. Whether that is the newest fad, that she, the latest fad regarding her various issues with food. Like she feels, oh, if I do this, then yeah, it's going to work out to me. If I do a water fast, yeah, it's going to work out. Yeah, if I read the book. But I think it's like that with other things as well, that whatever she's doing in the moment is going to work, whether it's with the swordfish or whatever. We saw that a million times over. She doesn't. I heard you wait a minute. I think it's more than that. Salah wasn't happy about it. I don't think she understands the won't cure she keeps. And I think that happened last time. Didn't she eat through it? I think her addiction overrides the threat. Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. I think her addiction and feeding her immediate needs, definitely. Yes. Yes. It's that immediate gratification, and that goes hand in hand with her impulsiveness, right? The impulsiveness is very immediate, as is the gratification. She wants what she wants in that moment. Whether it's food, whether it's the dude, whoever it is, for sure. Thank you, Sulesio. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Thank you for being here. Much appreciated. Thank you. Good night. Yeah, I think so too, Gen X Mind 67. I think so too. I think a lot of it is performative for Salah. I really do. Then that also highlights the fact that he's the one who called off that trip. He called off that trip because of her unhealthy ways, and he doesn't want to go there. If their goal is to go there and be business partners and make vlogs, he knows that's not going to happen with her being in the condition that she's in. He had told her to get it together. She didn't. She's done the complete opposite. She's been gorging on things. So he said, we're not going. So she cries, tells everyone that she broke up with him when we know that's not the case. And now does the whole performative, I'm on this medication and it was for him. I know. I don't know. I feel like Swordfish is always lingering like in the periphery, or she wants him to be lingering in the periphery. Like the way she's been speaking lately, she was wearing that shirt when she was talking about her and Salah having broken up. Probably subconsciously she put that shirt on, maybe coincidentally, who knows? She does, exactly. It's in the distant future to her later. And we see her do that a lot. Like, who cares? Oh, later. Oh, I'll do that later. Same with her house. Like something so concrete, like the condition of her home. Oh, I'll clean that up later. I'll pick it up later. And then we see later comes and things are like 5 times worse. Yeah, I think that is. I mean, she claims that she was over 400 when she was at the villa with Pete's. I don't know. If he made her feel wanted, she would have wanted to go. Yeah, but yes, but I think it goes back to that immediate thing, right? The immediate needs that she wants to fulfill. Her cravings need to be fulfilled immediately. Her desire to make the special interest content and get paid for that, that's another immediate gratification. And she figures, oh, I'll be back on track tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes in Foodie's world. Yeah, that's Swordfish. C was. He was. He kind of like disappeared for a while. But I mean, I'm sure he's spending time with like his family. Yes, the special shirt. The special shirt. That's what she was wearing. Yeah, I heard about that too, but it didn't work. I heard that too. I don't know. No, you can't make any of this up. You can't. It's so comical, really. Yeah, a lot of people think that it was never a thing, that she made it up. And I think she initially did make it up because he had no clue. He came into that chat and he was like, what trip? What Malaysia? And that's when that whole fight with ECP happened. Because he was like, okay, there's a trip. Sure, we could all go. Hey, Seven Smiles, 777. Thank you. Yes, Are You Serious is the best. The best. The nicest person in girl world as well. How can she keep making stuff up when she knows he might be watching? She has no shame. That we know. I mean, she passes gas on on live, right? She has no shame. I don't know. I think it's part of his contract, though. I think part of his contract is to just play the dutiful husband when they were supposedly married, and now to play the kind of sort of husband who's still interested and is not willing to divorce her. I think that's part of their agreement. Hello, Darkest Coven. Yeah, I think like it came to a point where like they it became a business arrangement. Maybe it started off romantically, maybe in her mind it did. At some point it fell apart. Um because there was a point in time when they were still in Kuwait where she said that they had broken up. And I think that at that point they decided to be business partners, roommates slash business partners, because then he wasn't around very much. So I think she's told him, like, yeah, I'll continue either giving you this money, paying you, I'll give you this month, this much per week if you appear on my streams, or if you refer to me as Sweetie, if you do these things. So I think there's like an arrangement behind the scenes. So she can come on and say these things, and he's not going to say a word. I haven't seen those pictures, nor do I want to. So don't send them to me. But I heard, yeah, I heard some things. I heard some things. That's what your husband said, DH. I think part of that is her, but then I also think she plays it up to an extent. A, it'll get people talking, and she said she loves attention. B, it probably feeds into some of her side businesses that she has. Her temper will make her lose her channel again. Either her temper will, or I think she's not going to behave and she's going to do something food related and it's not going to go well, or it will violate terms of service. She is only ever able to contain herself for so long. Yeah, it's the same thing. Exactly. Are you serious? Just pretend to love me. I think it's a similar arrangement behind the scenes with Salah, similar to Swordfish. But he's sticking to it for the most part. Long distance, because she's not allowed to be there. I am fortunate tonight. Yeah, that's what I'm gathering. I heard it was pretty bad. A marriage contract. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I think so too. I think she is very fixated. Remember earlier I was talking about like the way that she thinks is very interesting. She is very fixated on how she is perceived. And she wants to keep that illusion going for as long as possible. That is very important for her. Hey, Lena Anderson. Thanks for being here. They basically left Kuwait because of the kid. Yes, exactly. He wasn't wanting to move. I wonder if that was his last true straw. Yeah, I mean, they were forced out of Kuwait. She left the very next day. He lingered around a bit and then ended up in Syria. That was because of Bruce. And then she just couldn't do it on her own, I think, when she came to Canada. She realized she couldn't, or she didn't want to. She had gotten used to having somebody doing all of her errands, and she decided to get up and hightail it to Syria. He did not invite her. We heard him say, I told you not to come. He said it more than once. And also at one point, and I've mentioned this in a video before, she mentioned, and she's only brought this up one time, that when they met on Tinder, he said to her something to the effect of like, I'm going to marry you, or I'm going to marry you one day. And she got up and went to Kuwait. It didn't like, it's something that he just said kind of like in passing. It wasn't a legitimate, will you marry me? Or, hey, let's get married. It was just kind of like, I'm going to. Like, he was trying to be a player. He was trying to be a flirt. He was trying to like, get her in his grip. She got up and went to Kuwait. Like, she took that as an invitation. And then she pulled a similar stunt when she went to Syria, because that we know he never invited her to. So she took it upon herself to make it happen. It speaks to that impulsiveness again. She is impulsive. It's what she wants in the moment. Oh, I don't have any social media. I'm one of those rare, weird people who doesn't, like, nothing. This is it. This is the only thing. So I'm not going to see it. I've protected myself in that way. So yeah. She's now claiming to make more on Kick. Yeah, she was saying she likes the fact that she gets a payout weekly on Kick. So I figure she's going to do both. Is she in denial that most don't see her the way she wants to be perceived? I think to an extent she is. I think she feels that she is so slick and so good at the performances that she puts on that many people can't see through it. Like Teardrop can't. So that's like reassurance. That reinforces her. And she thinks like, well, Teardrop can't see through all of this. And some of these other people don't. Some of the bees are, so I must be like pulling it off. Yeah, she showed up on his doorstep pretty much. I mean, I think she told him she's going. He had to arrange it to some extent because she couldn't get there without his help. But in Kuwait, yeah, it sounds like she kind of just like showed up. She's going to continue eating on camera. She is. And that's going to be her undoing again. Right. She doesn't care. And that's the other thing. She keeps thinking that she's got like this upper hand or this edge. I mean, look at the mall and the fight with the security guards. Like, she felt she was in the right. She wasn't, clearly, but she was persistent and insistent that where she was filming was public property. It wasn't. Yeah, he was all talk. She wasn't, right. She wants to be romanced. She wants to be desired. For sure. Yeah, I think it's going to be that. I mean, it could be anything because, like, she gets in her ways and she's a loose cannon. So she's been making a very big point that she has to pay for it. She keeps throwing out those prices. Something about 250 first it was every month and it was every 6 weeks, which tells us that she was being dishonest the first time, or the second she can't keep things straight. So yeah, either, or she's gonna live stream for 12 hours so she could pay for it. I would not be surprised. Because again, I said when we started the stream, she's been talking about doing a very extensive live stream, and that's exactly what she did on April 30th of last year. So I could see her doing those with the claims of like, oh, I need the medication. She has less rules on Kick. Yes. Yeah, all of her bad behavior has been occurring on Kick. Thank you so much, 7Smiles777. I appreciate that. Thank you. I hope you continue to like it here. Teardrop being the barometer. I know, Teardrop. Oh, Teardrop. Oh, yeah. Teardrop is a mess. Teardrop, like, I don't know, she's being very dramatic lately herself. I don't know, something with her and Tracy, like they're fighting. Somebody was asking her earlier today, like, when are you gonna like take down Tracy or something's going on there. I don't know what their thing is with each other. Most people want to be desired. Some like to be admired. Yeah, and I think like whether it's one or the other is very telling about what it is that's going on with her as far as like her various diagnoses too. I think in her case, though, it's like beyond like what the regular person wants as far as being desired. Like for her, it's really, really important. And the last 3 years have been a testament to that. Like putting on this whole thing of her being in this marriage with this guy, and well, like the source of that is her need to be desired. The reason why she keeps it up is because she wants people to think that she's desired, and she wants to feel it too. If she keeps misusing yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because it's all related. Yeah, Teardrop is, I don't know. I don't know like the ins and outs of what's going on with Teardrop and Tracy. I haven't looked into things that much. Like, do we need to cover them separately? She really does. And her husband too. I don't know. I feel like she's always in crisis. There's always like some type of drama, and then there's like the added Tracy drama. I don't know. Has she ever considered it? Is she one of the people who consider like what they would do? I don't know. She's the number one beezer though. The number one beezer. I've been trying to look for like patterns of like, Teardrop being around versus like when Salah pops up. It's not 100% telling yet as far as the patterns go. There's been some overlap, but Foodie does have two phones, so who knows? I think Teardrop has high attention needs too. The Chantal in big capital letters all the time. I mean, Tracy does as well. Teardrop is jealous of everyone parasocial much. Is she jealous of everyone? All her drama stories are made up for attention, maybe. Yeah. She could have she does. I feel like she does. She had the stove drama, she had the heat drama. I feel she's always running to the hospital for something. There's the husband drama. Oh gosh, oh no. There's a tornado drama apparently. Oh my goodness. Teardrop, I don't know much of her backstory. I know she doesn't feed her cats. I have a screenshot of that where she said that her cats were looking at her because she hadn't fed them and she didn't have any food available for them. She's allowed the dog to eat the kittens, if I'm not mistaken. Her husband eats things from the floor and from the garbage. She is always trying to get Chantal's attention in the chat. Um, I think she has several children. I feel like she's always running to the hospital for one thing or another, having to do with her children. You want to know if you're picturing a husband accurately? Oh goodness. Um, yeah, Mila baby, you notice how she's been emphasizing the name a lot lately, like in the last month? For sure. Oh, she's jealous of Squeaky now? Teardrop is? Oh, I believe it. I believe it. Totally. Because she feels she's going to get knocked off being like number one Beezer, number one mod. Oh no. Does her dog live outside? Oh, geez. Teardrop is super unlucky. Yeah, it seems like it. It's like a disaster a day with that one. I don't know what's up with her. And Tracy, I don't know much about her except that I know she's like popped up in other creators' chats, and Foodie did not like that. And she had an argument with her. I think this was when she was still in Kuwait, if I'm not mistaken. That Foodie got very angry with her. Yeah, who is Teardrop? I know she's in the hospital, but at the chat at the same time. But yet she's not in the chat when Salah's in the chat. Interesting. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I do too, exactly. Like the whole pet situation, all of them is just. I mean, I've mentioned in several recent videos, like my thoughts on BG and how I feel like Foodie doesn't feed her properly, potentially. Tracy's on dialysis 3. Oh, is she really? Oh, wow. Yikes. That must be rough. 3 times a week. Goodness. Yikes. Yeah, I feel Tracy hasn't been around lately, and that would explain it, I guess. But why Teardrop has it out for her all of a sudden? It's like something shifted about a month ago. Like Tracy was saying that people were saying things about her that she was, I don't know, it was like ridiculous. Ah, that makes sense. Yeah, I Tracy will critique her, yes. From time to time she does, whereas Teardrop never does, ever. Teardrop is the co-signer of everything that Chantal does. For sure. And it's like, are they fighting because they have different opinions of Foodie at this point? Like one supports her regardless of anything she does and is always willing to excuse her various bad behaviors and find silver linings somehow, and the other one like will call her out from time to time. Maybe they feel that Tracy's not as loyal. Like if she's calling out Foodie and going in creators' chats from time to time, therefore she's viewed as being disloyal, whereas Teardrop would never be disloyal. Teardrop? I thought that too. I had heard that. I had heard that. That she was bedridden. But I guess not, because she's always getting to the hospital somehow. I haven't heard of her having a farm. But the bedridden, I had heard that probably like a year ago or longer. Yeah, it's quite a group over there. That's for sure. Now Squeaky's competition. Ugh. So I think Foodie isn't going live outside because of the beezer that gave her the glasses. I don't know. Perspective has changed to her. Yeah, I think Tracy's perspective has changed somewhat. Somewhat. Slightly, but yes. She's not willing to agree to everything that Chantal says or does. And also, people have been accusing Tracy of certain things, is my understanding, and she doesn't like that. And I think she suspects that it's the Beezers who are like saying things about her behind her back, and those accusations are happening. Yeah, I don't know why she isn't going live outside. Part of it could be just because she's been called out on things so many times. And as far as that goes, as far as like her being banned from like all of these places, I do think the first time was probably legitimate, where people told her, like, you can't live stream in here, like the first mall that she went to. But then I do think that people may have taken that and run with that and placed phone calls wherever she was going in order to be problematic for her. Like a game. Like they turned it into a game. Like, how many places can we get her banned from? But I do think initially it probably was legitimate. Yes, Ruthie, yes. Stop. Did she really? Darkest Coven? She did? Oh my goodness. I didn't know Teardrop had a farm either. This is the first time I'm hearing of the farm. Okay, residential area. Yeah. Yeah, I heard that about YouTube Lover as well. A bunch of characters, aren't they? Jealous if she was on a farm. Yeah. Yeah, that would be nice. Being outside with nature, for sure. But beyond that, I don't know. She was very upset at us. Oh boy. Popping up in people's chats and yelling at them. Oh my God. She did say that. Are you serious? Yes, she did. That's exactly what she said. Yep. So I think she's also not sure about the scooter, so that could be contributing to her not going outside. Like she doesn't want to get stuck outside with the scooter, so maybe like she's just not doing that. If she can't go scooting, then she's not. She did say like, "Oh yeah, we're going to go walking. Maybe we should go walking," but I'm sure things have changed since then as they often do with Foodie, and she's probably dropped that idea. She doesn't want to walk. She prefers not to. I mean, she streams for hours and hours and hours at a time, and it's always like in that same position. Kind of like when Pete's is in that same sideways position. Yes, I think so too. And we know that with Foodie, whatever she's ordering is not just like a tiny bag of chips being brought to her door. Like it's a lot of stuff, whether it's a food delivery DoorDash type of order or whether it's her groceries. And I think she has the service where like she gets substitutions, she puts in substitutions. So people have to like make sure that they do a good job with that. It's not just like I'm going to pick up some things and bring it to you. Like if it's not available, I have to substitute them. And yet she doesn't tip. Oh, Nina Bachelor. So Nina was around in the Kuwait days. I'm almost 100% sure. Almost 100% sure that she was. She's been around for a while. And I know there was I don't know if it was a joke that she's the one who paid for that beaver tail, if she was just saying it in jest, or if that was true. Because I know she came in and she's like, oh, yeah, next time I want to see stuff like all over. I don't know if she was making a joke or if she did pay for that beaver tail, but somebody definitely did. For a foodie beauty to go ride the train at night to go downtown to get the beaver tail and to make that entire mess of herself, you know, there was money behind that. That was more than her just having a craving for it. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. She has been. Yeah, and she kind of admitted to that and she said that she had gained a whole bunch of weight like in the last week or so. It doesn't seem like it has gotten her to slow down. The few bits that I've caught she's been eating, I think she got steak and some other things on the side, and I think she was eating earlier today. Okay, so Nicole and Nina, two different people. I'm thinking of Nina, the one with the so-called beaver tail, and the one who's a Beezer and has been in her chat for a while. I don't think I know Nicole. Oh, I don't think I know her. Yeah, I don't think I know her. I take it they are very problematic also. Are they a Beezer? Ah, oh boy. Oh, she's another one that goes into the chats of reactors and tells them off. So she's doing like the Tracy thing. Yes, he was. Yes, I heard her saying that too. She said a man was outside her house. Oh my goodness. Oh, she left. That happens, I think. She's lost a couple of Beezers. Some of them go back and forth though, like they're not resolute with leaving. Like, where's Baked Korean been? Did Baked Korean go back? Because Baked Korean like had left and left for a while. Oh, obsessed with fog. It's an interesting interest. Did she? Was that her? Was it for that big Simpsons donut? Was that Nina? Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that Baked Korean has stayed away. Good. Good. I haven't seen them around. Yeah, she turned on Baked Korean. Poor Baked Korean. Weird conspiracy stuff. Yeah, they're an interesting bunch. That much I will say. I mean, they keep tuning in to Foodie, even though they're being lied to in their faces about very many things. Mm-mm. Yeah, I remember there was somebody who had paid for not just the donut, somebody who had paid for, oh, I don't think that was her though, the Cheesecake Factory in Kuwait also. That was a Beezer. Yeah, Big Korean is nice. They've left comments here and there sometimes, and like yeah, they seem very nice. I remember when she turned on Big Korean. I think people though, I think like why I was wondering also, I think some people have made screen names using baked Korean in there also. Like baked Koreans this, baked Koreans that. Yeah, for sure. For sure. You know who else hasn't been back in her chat? Ron, I think. I feel like Ron hasn't been there for a while. Like the moment anybody raises any objections to the things that she's doing or questions anything, yes, yes, he did. Yes, thank you. Are you serious? Yes, he did keep asking her to weigh herself. Because what Foodie has done and what she did the last time was the reverse. Like, usually she doesn't show us if she's holding on to something when she's on the scale. And this last time, she did show her feet on it, but she didn't show us what the scale said. She was trying to be slick. Oh, Nina. A lot of people don't want to believe what we say for whatever reason. They don't. They refuse to see it, even though the patterns are all there, even though past behavior predicts future behavior, as you've heard me say many, many, many times. Like, they just don't see it. And I don't know if it's because it's just like a sense of hope that they have for her, or because like they find her endearing in some way. I think what it really comes down to, though, is that they see themselves in Foodie, a lot of them. So for them to feel negative towards her would kind of be like reflecting on themselves. So it's easier just to go along with what she says than to like face the contrary, because then they'd also have to accept the fact that they've been lied to or that they've been lying to themselves. Yes, two scales, exactly. One to show and one to actually step on. Because she forgot that she purchased the first one, I think is what she said. How do you forget you purchased a whole scale? I don't know. They do relate to her, exactly. And that's what it is. So how can you critiquing her would be critiquing themselves? And that's never comfortable. That's never a comfortable thing to do. So it's better to just like cheer her on. Exactly. Exactly. But I think like what we're able to do is like put the space between us and them. Like we don't see ourselves in Foodie, in her behaviors, in the way that she navigates the world, or rather doesn't navigate the world. I think they also feel that like the hope for her, like if she does do better, then that means they can also. But it's easier to accept the lie than to accept that you've been lied to on a human level. She couldn't just give away her cats for a man. Oh, yeah, there's always patterns. Patterns of behavior with her. Yes. Yes. And she sure did. Well, not only that, like the swordfish wasn't kind to her cats either. And yet, still, that wasn't enough, him being horrible. Hey to Foodie Beauty. I know, first live ever. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. I know, I can't believe I'm on live. I've been trying for days, but things just weren't working. And even today, it took a couple of tries, but here we are. And I'm glad to be here with all of you. Chantal has so many bad habits. Yes, she does. Anyone could find a way to. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. She does. There's a whole array of bad habits that she has. Like, people are very quick to justify her various behaviors. For example, the people who co sign on her use of the R slur, people who excuse it because, oh, you grew up saying that, so it's okay. People need to understand. People know you don't mean it about, like, they encourage it, probably because they do the same thing. Thank you so much. Are you serious? Much appreciated. She probably lied about swordfish and BBJ. Yes, she did. But wasn't there a text? There was a text where she said that to him. You hit my cat? She said that to him. What got me interested in Foodie were her various inconsistencies and her patterns of behavior. So the very first thing, what prompted me to start actually making videos, because I was watching her for a while. But as far as making videos, it was her inconsistency about how Salah's family felt about her. When she was battling with that Aisha, she was saying that, oh, Salah's family, they love me. Why is she saying that? Having forgotten that she had told us that his father did not approve of her because of her past, because of her OF, because of very many things. So that was what prompted the videos, as well as the fact, I think the very first thing I did might have been a short. It was either the Aisha thing or a short where she had slipped up and said that she and Salah had broken up. She quickly deleted that. And it might not have even been up for a couple of hours. And that to me indicated that the nature of that relationship, of that whole catfishing, had changed at that point in time. But as far as like watching her prior to making videos, it's just like her patterns of behavior and just like so many tells that she has. And the way she contradicts herself. I was saying earlier how in like one sentence, she says a lot about what's truly going on. She's lying to everybody's face, but she's saying a lot. So for example, the most recent of that would be just like, I think it was 2 or 3 days ago when she was saying that she broke up with Salah. She sent him a text about Malaysia. She can't be with somebody whose family doesn't approve of her, but oh, she's starting this medication now. And oh, she doesn't know how she pulls it off financially and what she's going to do. Salah used to take care of everything for her, and now she doesn't know what she's going to do. In my opinion, in that, she told us about who really put off the Malaysia trip. She told us that Salah disapproves of her eating behaviors. And she also told us with that, just like 2 sentences or 3 sentences, she told us that she's worried that the Ozempic is going to interfere with the special interest content that she's making on the side, and it's going to impact her financially. So it's things like that that got me interested in Foodie, that just like in a couple of sentences, she tells us her whole life and doesn't even know it. Long answer, sorry, but that's what it was. Heck yeah, to Foodie Beauty, exactly. Absolutely. Yeah, content, it was specifically her saying that they broke up, and it was I believe the first full video was the Aisha thing, where she was saying that Aisha, she never said anything about his family not accepting her, that they do. Meanwhile, she had already told us when she first got to Kuwait that his father did not accept her, and that's why she wasn't going to the hospital with Salah when he was having one of his surgeries. Amberlynn, I can't listen to for too long. And I haven't in a very, 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 very long time. The way she speaks in particular with Amberlynn, like I don't even know what's going on with her these days. Yep, the toenail surgery. We sure do. And she had alluded to that. She had definitely hinted to that before. And now she said that his sister wanted nothing to do with her and doesn't even talk to him because of Foodie, because of her past. She claimed it was like because of her age as well, and also because of her fertility. Who knows if that's true? I think it's probably a combination of things. Like, how would you feel if all of a sudden some lady just like showed up and, like she just came out of nowhere, really? Decided to go to Kuwait and that was that. Like, it is bizarre. We sure do. Because she highlights them. That's the thing, too. Like, she makes a point of like emphasizing certain things that she really does not need to elaborate on. And then we all remember, but she doesn't. Like she forgets she can't keep up with her own lies. It's impossible because there are just so many of them. But yet she did tell us that all of his sisters took her out to lunch when she first got to Kuwait. I remember her saying that too, but then we never heard really much of anything about them again. So yeah, it was all of that stuff and just like her inability to have a handle on the truth and think that people are willing to go along with it more so than her antics. And I know many feel that like the swordfish era was probably like the best. Like I had trouble watching her during that period of time, mostly because of him, because it's just like also, I don't know. The whole situation was just like so skeevy. But I guess like that's what, I don't know. That was like her golden era, I guess. Oh yeah, the lady. So she said not that long ago, she claimed that that lady in the photo was a viewer of hers who wanted to meet her. I don't know if I believe that. I feel that it's somebody who she was either doing some MLM thing. What was that stuff she was taking? Unicity? Remember the Unicity thing, which is kind of like an MLM kind of thing? I feel like it was either Unicity or some type of Unicity type thing. Or somebody who she was like maybe trying to start up some type of like business slash financial exploring something like that with, but she claims that it was a viewer of hers. She said that much more recently. I know, imagine your golden era has to do with swordfish. That is not good. Like if that's the high bar, what's the low bar? Yeah, exactly, her viewer from Kuwait. Yeah, I feel it's like an MLM type of. So I don't know. She never brought that person up again. Never heard of them again. And didn't she say something about the fact that like she had lots and lots of unicity when she left Kuwait and something about Salah like packing it up or something like that and asking her about it? So that gives more credence to the fact that maybe that lady was from Unicity because why would she have all of this like Unicity stuff laying around that Salah was wondering what to do with after Kuwait arc ended? Exactly, she doesn't. And she also said she doesn't want to meet new people. And I think she knows because her behavior is not the type of behavior that's like condoned by society. So she gets anxious. Like her social anxiety comes from that fact. It's not like this just like generic social anxiety that she has of meeting new people. I think it has to do with the fact that she knows that she's not, that the way she behaves is just not acceptable in general society. Ah, you can hear my kitty. Yes. The BB era. Yeah, she was talking about BB recently, actually. See how this ends? Yeah, he's a talker for sure. Yeah, BB era. That was like 8 years ago. Well, she did tell us that she sold the Kia to BB. She admitted to that recently. That he needed a car, she was looking to leave, that she sold him the Kia, and therefore he has it. She also said regarding cars that she's planning on renting a car for her birthday, which is another thing that makes me wonder about Swordfish. The way she's talking, the fact that she was saying she's breaking up with Salah, she was wearing the shirt, now she's renting a car for her birthday. Don't know what she's planning on doing with that. Yeah, boxes of MLM product laying around. The Beezers sure do. They accept everything she says. Always. They don't doubt her for a second. Oh, did she? Where? Whereabouts? In Canada or in Malaysia or someplace else? She's planning on something. She's not going to go without her birthday being acknowledged in some way, her doing something for her birthday. Like, that is a big marker for her. And I remember maybe 2 months ago, before the Malaysia thing became part of the picture, somebody asked her what she would be doing for her birthday, and she said nothing. But I guess like that has changed. So she is up to something within Canada. Hmm. Right. Where is she going to go? She's planning on going somewhere in Canada by herself? With her family? She said also that she hasn't spoken to her sister in a while. So it makes one wonder what she's got planned. It also makes me wonder, like, is Swordfish, like, I don't know, lingering around? Are they communicating? Because let's go back to December when that whole fight with ECP and Salah, she broke up with Salah, she can't trust him anymore. That was around the time where she allegedly had the rendezvous with Swordfish. Now she broke up with Salah. He didn't know, but she broke up with Salah. She's talking a certain way. I don't know. I don't know. Again, it goes back to her patterns. Sister and mother were at her. Oh, were they? Really? Were they cleaning up? Because the last I saw, the place wasn't looking too good. I wonder what prompted that. Yeah, it's all her patterns. Like, she has these clusters of patterns typically. And that puts it, like, yeah, that was the end of December. We're approaching the end of March, 3 months later. I don't know. The language that she's using. She even questioned herself the other day. She's like, oh, why am I using bro so much? Exactly. Yeah, that would be a horrible decision on her part, but I don't know. Birthday gifts. They were there for birthday gifts? Her birthday's not for like another week or two. I think her birthday's at the end of the month, if I'm not mistaken. Birthday gifts now? Hmm. Yeah, I haven't caught up with her today yet. I think her birthday's on the 28th. That is very odd. Or did she have a different guest? Oh, she did? A cookie thing? Uh-oh. She has. She has. Her language is very, yeah, it's different. And usually that happens based on whoever it is that you are surrounding yourself with or whoever it is that you're talking to. You're taking on their characteristics. Nope, haven't caught up with her today except for like a few minutes when I saw that she was remonetized. I didn't get the full scoop of Foodie today. There's a belly shot. She bend over and like she was hanging out of it? Oh, uh-oh. Oh dear. Is it something I want to see? Ugh. And this is why, like, I say that the whole thing with Salah is like some contract based thing. Because on the one point, she tells us, like, oh, he's so, he wants me to be covered up and he wants me to be modest and this and that. But then, like, she does things like that and all of the other stuff that she displays as far as like poor behavior. So it's like, which is it? Yeah, she does. 6 to 9 hours a day of streaming. Yeah, for sure. I have to carve out some time to like catch up on her, which will also be easier to do if she is back on YouTube because catching up with her on Kick, that made things a little bit more difficult as well. We'll see how long it lasts though. We'll see if Salah like starts to make more frequent appearances. Because if he was so into vlogs about them going to Malaysia, now that she's back on YouTube and remonetized, it'll be interesting to see his behavior. But I will tell you this, she does seem to be a lot better or a lot very she's willing to share how well versed she is on the process of him coming to Canada. She's been articulating that much more than she ever has previously. Thank you so much. Are you serious? I really appreciate you and all of your support. Thank you so much for being here. Get some sleep. Have a good night. I haven't checked if she's even still alive. I would not be surprised if she is. So she was laying on the couch with like her shirt up. Is that what I missed? Was that the site? Dancing and then sat down. Yeah, her stamina probably isn't the best. Her plan to get him into Canada, I'm not well versed into how Canada works as far as that goes, but I hear that it is in fact very, very difficult. I've heard that potentially, or I assume that potentially, that is one of the reasons why she continues to, or he continues, or they both continue to say that they are in fact still married, even though the likelihood of Canada recognizing any type of documentation that they have is very, very slim. But the fact that she is like continuing to go with it probably has to do with keeping up that attempt. Or she's not keeping up that attempt, but wants him to think that she is. It's on Twitter. Yeah, I don't have any other social media besides this. I don't have Twitter. I'm sure I'll find it though. I'm sure somebody clipped it and I'll find it. Yeah, I think she's going to be doing a lot of attention grabbing things in order to sustain her viewership on YouTube now that she has it back. I mean, if she was talking about doing like a very extended live stream, now it's just gonna it's gonna be so much worse. I don't know. She's cooking up something though. She admitted when she got back to Canada that her marriage is, yeah, she did. She did. Which would mean that they would have to get married in Canada as I was going to say as well, but we know that the marriage is questionable to begin with, that there would have to be getting married in Canada or for it to be recognized in Canada. It's entirely possible that she's telling him that she's trying to get him into Canada. And he doesn't know the difference. He wouldn't know if she is or if she isn't. I don't know. It'll be interesting if she's not going to Malaysia, if she doesn't plan on seeing him anytime soon. It'll be interesting to see what she's going to do. Is that the reason why she said that she broke up to him? Because now there's no definitive period of time where she can say, yes, I'm going to see Salah in 2 months, in 3 months. Now it's unknown based on world events. She doesn't know when she's going to see him again. So is that why she said that she broke up with him? Is the wind being picked up on the mic? It sounds like Foodie's probably. Or just as bad. Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much for being here. And I hope we get to do another one of these soon and to see you again. Thank you. Have a good dinner. A little bit. Yeah, it's really windy out there. Well, thank you all for being here this evening on this very first stream of this channel. Oh, it's windy there too? Yeah, I think it's my end for sure. It's pretty loud out there. Not bad? Okay, good. So what made all of you start watching Foodie? I'm curious. Did you just like happen upon her channel and was like, what's this? And then you just kind of like got sucked in and couldn't like look away? Oh no, scary wind where you are? Ugh, I hope it stops soon. Started with anti-MLM, paparazzi, saw Zachary Moda's video of ALR, selling dirty, oh yeah, the earrings, yes, the earring scam. And it's been hotel. Oh, you went down that rabbit hole, huh? Start with one girl and lead to the next. Reaction channel started popping up on your algorithm and you were hooked. Yeah, it's hard to look away, right? When she was shopping for silicone men, I think she's mentioned recently that it's easier for her to have a silicone man, that she wants one again, that it would make her life much easier. Stumbled upon Girl World through ALR and Zachary Michael, to Milk Tea, which led to Pulpy. Now I'm down the rabbit hole deeper than I'd cared to admit. I know, it's like everybody's secret, right? Girl World. Canadian. Newly wearing a hijab came into my... Oh, so you caught her at that point, Debbie. You caught her at the beginning of the Kuwait arc, okay? Into my feed when I stumbled on Shani and Rev one fall day. It starts with one and then all of the characters come in. The silicone man. I don't know, but she's talking about buying one. And that it would be several $1,000s. Watching ALR reaction channels. And from there, I started watching Foodie Beauty channel reactions. So ALR was the gateway. Couldn't look away. Sort of liked her. She would do makeup. Oh, right. Back in the day, she was much more mainstream, for lack of a better word. Story times. People were mean to her and I felt bad. Yeah. Yeah. And then like her true colors, like after BB, like everything went south. Because that's when Swordfish came in and she went completely off the rails, completely. And like any element that made her watchable prior to that area just like disappeared and the self-destruction began and the self-hatred. Yeah, a lot has happened since then. The girls lost their YouTube channels. Now Foodie's back. There's been all this drama. She's been in like Kuwait and Syria. It's definitely been a ride, that's for sure. Yeah, the Villa era, I think, was very dark. Like the BB era was fine. That's not to say that her behavior then was ideal or that she was an ideal person, but then the Villa era, just not good. Yes. Yes, the unicity was like the crossover with the MLM stuff. Absolutely. Shani and Rev. The whole Shani and Rev thing, I don't know that much about them except that it just looks like chaotic and dysfunctional. And I know they were like overlapping with Foodie too when they had their settlement. They were sending her money. She liked them. And when that dried up, then they were on the outs. There's reborn doll drama. Uh-oh. Oh. Oh, I didn't know it was deep like that. Yeah, yeah, I couldn't watch her very well during that swordfish era. It was just like it just felt very gross. It just felt very ugh. It was not pleasant. Like BB era was just like normal stuff. Kuwait was interesting because it's like she got herself there and it's like here's Foodie Beauty in Kuwait, like with romance scamming going on. So it was kind of like, what's going to happen next? Like, she's in the Middle East. Chantal from Cornwall is in the Middle East. Hey, Ash E99. To the Rev. Mary Winchester, do you mean to the Rev and Shani stuff? Oh, I'm sorry. Megan Ray. Do you mean the Rev and Shani stuff? She made you, Mary Winchester, she made you feel ashamed to be a woman. Yeah, during the swordfish era. Yeah, that was just. It wasn't intriguing. It was like horrifying, that era. Like it was watching her debase herself. And for what? And for whom? And why? Oh, the reborn stuff? Yeah, that sounds interesting. I didn't know it was like drama like that with the reborn dolls. Kiana Dougherty's video sent you to Foodie. She made behavior change videos and argued that Foodie was a lost cause. It was really helpful in understanding maladaptive behaviors. Oh, yeah, Foodie's full of maladaptive behaviors for sure. Although I do think of all the girls, well, between her and Amberlynn, I should say, and if we want to throw in Eugenia into that mix, Foodie would have had she tried, had she been open to change, had she not been resistant, if she had been receptive, I think Foodie would have been the one who could change. Like the likelihood of change would have been more with Foodie. However, she refuses to. And that's why she's in the situation that she is. I feel that Amber's a lost cause. Eugenia, same thing. But Foodie, like, had she tried, had her headspace been, that's why it's so important for her to get like her head sorted. Because once her head is sorted, I think the other things could ultimately, with a lot of effort and persistence, fall into place. But she won't. This is why she needs inpatient, because there's just so many layers of things with her. Not a fan of the Kuwait arc, Darkest Coven. The resin art community. I heard something about there being drama in that community too, and I know nothing about it, just that there's drama. Luxury crafts from the dollar store. That sounds fun. Helped you understand some of the dysfunctional people I've come across. Yeah, she's like a learning lesson for sure. It doesn't make sense to outsiders. Nope. Yeah. Girl World has been a free masterclass in abnormal psychology. Yes, for sure. The big girls to me aren't as big of a problem as Eugenia. She's very problematic herself. And I think a lot of the demonetization that we saw with the girls all started because of Eugenia, just like the other extreme. Mm-hmm. Yes, it has. And it's been interesting that it's been allowed to go on for as long as it has. They scare you in what sense? Yeah, yeah, there's definitely stuff going on there. They just seem like such an odd couple too. An odd pairing. For sure. I just don't know like all of their lore and all of their history, but there's dysfunction there for sure. You don't feel her beliefs are ever her own, and it's most annoying and it can make me ragey. Foodie, they're not. They're not. She takes on what whoever it is that she's associating with at the time. Remember when she came back from Syria? When she was crying those initial weeks and everything, one of the things that she kept saying, and she was being truthful in this, was that she doesn't know who she is. She doesn't know what she believes in. She doesn't know who she is. And that was a moment of truth for her. She doesn't know. That's why she's so quick to take on the attributes of whoever she's hoping will be her partner, whether that's Swordfish, whether that's Salah, whoever it is. Oh, yeah, I know. Ruthie, I can't. Mm-mm. All of that. Yeah. Exactly. That's another example of Ruthie. Exactly. Like her beliefs change. And she was trying to justify it a few weeks ago, saying, well, I never made those statements. I never said as far as all that. And yes, you did. The clips are out there. The internet is forever. She doesn't. She has absolutely no self awareness. None. And I don't mean self awareness in her behaviors. I mean self awareness as to who she is as a human, as an individual. Doesn't know who she is, doesn't know what she likes, doesn't know, just doesn't know. And on the one hand, like she'll say that she's been taking care of herself since she was 16 years old, which I don't think is true. But then on the other hand, she says she doesn't know how to take care of herself and like Salah would take care of her. So it's like, which is it? Oh, thank you so much. Sergeant Wobble military costume. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm glad you do. I know it's not for everyone, so I appreciate that. Exactly peaked five. That's where it all started. That was like the first domino to fall, and then the girls went down with it. Her mom, you mean, Ruthie? I mean, putting her family aside, there's only, yes, like how somebody is raised and stuff, of course, impacts a lot of their development. However, you get to a point where it's like you have to be responsible for the outcomes of your own life, especially at 42. Like that's not, the family has no control over that at this point, right? It's all entirely up to her. Paying no taxes, having two bankruptcies isn't taking care of yourself. Exactly. That's financial irresponsibility, which she's been very financially irresponsible since she returned. I think she sees taking care of herself as manipulating whoever she can to live her life by facing as little discomfort as possible. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Manipulating others into taking care of her. Yep. So that she doesn't have to be uncomfortable, so that she doesn't have to go out and do things for herself. It was oppositional defiance her whole life. I think being taken care of is the only way she, yes. Yes, even if that means having to pay for it. Yes. She's willing to pay for that. I don't think she knows what healthy love is. I don't think she knows. That's why she interprets the possessive jealousy and she talks so well about it all the time. She interprets that as a positive thing because she doesn't know what healthy love is or what a healthy relationship is. She's told us very many times about all of the strange, unhealthy, if these stories are true, asterisk there, right? But she's told us about all of these relationships that she supposedly had in her teens, like that older guy who she showed us a picture of recently. In her teens and her early 20s, and none of those were healthy, functional relationships. And I think she has this idea of relationships based on what she has seen in shows or the movies. And she thinks it's supposed to be boy and girl meet and they fall for each other and everything moves and progresses very quickly. Thus, her behaviors with the men that we've seen in her life. Thus, especially with Salah, she met him, got herself to Kuwait, boom, they're supposedly married, and we know the rest. So for her, no, there was one, it was when she was in Thailand the second time, she was by herself. She was all like out of, on substances. And she made a comment, which may still be up on one of my shorts. And she said that she was giving advice. It sounded like she was giving advice. And she said that everybody who she's been with has loved her. And even if they are bad to you, it doesn't mean they don't love you. And that tells us a lot about how Foodie interprets relationships. And it's in a very unhealthy way that someone could be horrible to you, but yet that's still love. Very unhealthy, very dangerous. But that's the mindset that she has. It's almost along the lines of like any type of attention is good attention. Like kind of the stuff she does online. It's bad attention, but it's good attention for her, right? Any attention's good attention. It's the same thing with relationships. Any attention, even if they treat you badly, is good. It means something good. You're benefiting from it. Yeah, exactly. Peaked 5. Yeah. I try not to, but I've talked about like her schemas before and like she has these like certain schemas. This is why she needs therapy, not to sit there and talk about like your life and what happened in your childhood. No, why is it that you believe these things? Why do you believe the things that you do? Why do you believe that these are signs of a healthy relationship? And then working through those things so that you don't believe those things anymore. That's why she needs therapy, not to talk about what happened to her when she was like 5. She doesn't see it that way, though. Pete's and BB were probably her closest examples. Yeah, I think so. I think Pete's was like the purest one because I do think he loves her unconditionally. And I do think he warns her when she does things that are not in her best interest. I think he does tell it to her like it is to some extent. But yeah, she cheated on them and caused drama. She seeks out drama. That's an addiction too. It's like risk addiction. It's just a theory, but I think he was the great love. But I don't think, see, yes and no, because I don't think she knows what it is. The toxicity was the highest with the swordfish, which in her mind gets interpreted as the great love of her life. But in reality, it was the opposite. Do you know what I mean? It's like yes and no. She's interpreting it as that, yes. And I can't see a world where she doesn't try again. Yeah, I was saying that. Yeah, that at least had chemistry, rancid as it was. Yep, totally wants attention. Totally wants attention. She said it, that she loves attention and that she always wanted to be famous. And then more recently, she did refer to herself as infamous, which is much more accurate because she's not famous. She's infamous because of all of like the bad behaviors that she puts on display for everyone. Yeah, so I think he was that the swordfish was, but for the wrong reasons because she interprets all of the horrible things that he did as interest. You're welcome. Yeah, I think it's a thing. That's my own take. It's not like an official like terminology, but I do think there is such a thing as risk addiction. Yeah. And she does have an element of that, which would explain what we were talking about much earlier with her saying like, oh, everybody would be afraid to be on the road with a scooter, but I'm not afraid. That plays into her risk addiction to a certain extent. Yeah, and that fake love me bit, that's for because she wants to present herself a certain way to the audience that she's desirable. Foodie Beauty and ELR got started in the 2000s. Yes. 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 For sure. Do I think she will ever go to therapy willingly? Long shot. No. No. I think she pretends that she has been exploring it. I don't think she has explored it. She really doubled down several weeks ago and said she doesn't need it. She thinks she doesn't want to talk to anybody because she said she has done it many times. She has spoken to many therapists and many psychiatrists. She doesn't want to sit there and talk to somebody about going over her childhood again and again. What she doesn't realize is the fact that there are so many different modalities and she has so many different things to treat, and they're not necessarily treated in the same manner. And therapeutic interventions have come a long way since her time when she was in a group home. So, do I think that she will go to therapy willingly? No, because she has this certain perception of it. She probably is just like tying it back to like her group home days and whatever happened there. Do I think that she might be forced to at some point? Maybe. I mean, she was using TikTok as her therapist. She thinks that that is helpful, but she doesn't realize that that just reinforces all of her own beliefs because whatever's in her algorithm are the things that she wants to see and the things that she wants to hear. She's not going to get the opposing opinions there. She's not going to get a partner to walk her through the process. And the other thing, and I've said this before, is that it's via therapy that she's going to get the validation that she seeks. Because it's not a combative relationship. It's somebody who would want to work with you and help guide you on a journey to bettering yourself, not some type of like combative situation. Like you have to do this, you need to, it's not like that. It shouldn't be like that. And if that's been her experience, that's unfortunate. Yeah, Foodie Beauty as a cautionary tale. Yep. She confessed that she hates therapy because it makes her uncomfortable. Yeah. Yeah, she doesn't like being uncomfortable at all. She doesn't like being hungry. She doesn't like being cold. She doesn't like when her food is late. She doesn't like when her food is cold. Like, yeah, any form of discomfort she cannot stand. I don't think she's ever seen a therapist for more than one or two. I agree. I agree. It would force her to change and to take a look at herself, and she doesn't like that. Is risk addiction similar to an adrenaline junkie? To a sense, I think sometimes it also has to do, again, that's not like a DSM term or anything like that. Um, I think it also has to do with seeing how far you can push the boundaries and get away with it. That also kind of falls under risk addiction, which also is an adrenaline rush as well. Yeah. I think if someone said a chat GPT prompt for a CBT schema therapist with unconditional positive regard, she'd actually be okay. Oh, yeah, right. If it was coming from chat GPT, yeah, she wouldn't know the difference. She wouldn't be resistant to it. It's like chat GPT and TikTok doctor is like, those are the only things that she's receptive to. So if it's coming from an entity that's not a human, she's more receptive. So I would agree with you there. Yeah, for sure. She'd be much more receptive to it that way. She prefers that. She doesn't want to have that person to person interaction. She doesn't want it from a medical doctor, as we've seen her cancel appointments very many times. And she definitely doesn't want it from a therapist. She's 42 years old. No one can make her go. Exactly. Exactly. Unless it was involuntary. Yeah. Foodie's a great example of why most providers hate treating personality disorders because they're so manipulative. Um, I think she's got a lot of like layered things going on with her. She would have to treat her various addictions first because like they cloud a lot of the other stuff that goes on. Yeah, and she has admit that there's like I think schizophrenia she said her grandmother had and some other conditions that her grandmother had. Um and that it runs in her family. So there is like a genetic component to that. So if you know that, I would think and hope that you would try to take measures to mitigate that, but she doesn't. Even if she felt she had like there was nothing as far as her behavior is concerned, the fact that there is like that predisposition. But she has admitted that she thinks that she does have a bunch of like undiagnosed conditions. Yeah, she hates being seen. She hates having actual interaction with people, unless she's getting attention from a man. For sure, she's very comfortable with the chat GPT for everything. And I think the same is true, but to a lesser extent with the medical doctor. She's avoiding them as well. She doesn't want to have those interactions. Those are the things that I find like interesting about her, like these resistances, but then things that overlap and all of that stuff. Coupled with the layers of like scams that she tries to pull, because that's like a whole other thing. I think so too. She needs to start somewhere, that's for sure. But she's so resistant to it. And maybe like when she was in the group home, that was the extent of any type of like mental health intervention that she's had. Who knows? Because in the last 8 years that she's been online, I don't really recall much of any. So any type of mental health intervention that she had was before that, and we know the group home happened, but I think that might have been the extent of it. And it made her so uncomfortable, which it would. And also, she was a teenager, which just heightens the level of discomfort that she's been resistant to it ever since, despite obvious need for intervention. So, yeah, willingly, I don't think. There'd have to be like some major crisis for her to go willingly. And even then, probably not. She said that she zones out at the doctor and it's such a problem that Shmi notices. She doesn't ask questions, she doesn't want to. Yet she listens to ChatGPT because it doesn't talk back. Exactly. It's very, it's not bi-directional. She has a hard time with bi-directional things. And even with like Salah, it was a lot of like her telling him what to do, what she wants. Right? So it's the same thing across, I think, any type of relationship that she has, whether it's with professionals, whether it's personal, etc. You can hear it. Megan Ray, you can hear it. Yeah, it's the wind got really strong there for a while. Yeah, she just wants to ask GPT what she wants to ask, get the answers, and that's it. She doesn't want probing questions. Chat GPT isn't really going to ask anything. Thank you so much, the fiend. I'm happy that you do. Thank you. And welcome here. Borderline. Oh, wow, Megan Ray. Same. It was all synced up between both of us. Creepy. Yeah, it's dying down now. I hope at least. At least it's like coming to a lull. BPD, Amber Lynn's favorite diagnosis. I don't I don't think that's foodie necessarily. It could be. It could be. Like what I always try to think about with foodie is that even though she'll stream for like 15 hours a day, there's always those hours that she doesn't. So it's like what happens during those hours, right? She shows a certain thing. So I try to keep that in mind. But BPD, does she have some traits of it? Yes, for sure. Do I think she actually has that diagnosis? Not sure. I think there's some wiggle room there, and it's more likely that there's other things going on with her as far as diagnoses go. But it could be. Well, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Hopefully we'll get to do more of these soon, and the more like I figure out this platform on my end, the more we'll be able to do. I just ask for your patience. It might take a while, and also like my schedule's really, really, really tight. So I'll try. She certainly gives us a lot to talk about, which is like kind of weird for a person who doesn't do much of anything but lays on like the couch all day. Because truth be told, like she doesn't do much of anything. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Kind of a surprise for me too, in a way. I didn't think it was going to work because I've been trying for a couple of days, but nice to meet you as well. Nice to meet all of you. I'm happy that you were all able to stop by and we've been able to have this chat about our girl on the night of her remonetization, as long as that lasts. It'll be interesting to see if she continues to bounce between the two platforms or if she's just going to stick to YouTube or if she's going to do her eating content on one and try to be. I don't think she's going to be able to keep it up though. She gets mad that we have opinions about stuff and overshares. It makes me giggle. She does get upset because she knows that a lot of what we say is the truth, that we put the pieces together. And I think that's what upsets her, the fact that we're able to see through it and then tries to offer up explanations to the contrary. And that's where she like catches herself. That's how she gets caught. Because then she doesn't remember what she said. She owns a golden horseshoe. She's got something because luck is on her side. Second time that she gets her channel back. Or I shouldn't say back because the first time I think she lost it entirely with the Omegale thing. Oh, I'm happy to be keeping you company. I'm sorry that you're working late. I hope that your shift comes to a close soon. Yeah, she got lucky. I was wondering if she was going to get that channel back because I believe Amber Lynn did not. And correct me if I'm wrong. Even though I feel that Foodie's videos, as far as like the content that she's produced, have been much more graphic in that sense, as far as violating terms of service. I have a picture of like all of her thumbnails before she made all her videos disappear, and it's just like, wow. She'll behave for a while, eating on one and you two on a more, yeah, I think for a while. How sustainable it will be is a whole other question. Procrastinated earlier today. You work for yourself. Ugh, I hear you. Yep. Good for you for working for yourself, though. But I hear you about the procrastination and how that impacts things. I know. But what will be interesting is to see what she's going to do, not just as far as YouTube is concerned, but I feel she's like in her, this is the time of year for some reason that like she kicks things up like with the schemes that she pulls, like the fundraising schemes and things that are unsavory as far as money is concerned. So that's what I'm keeping my eye on. Is she going to do like, hey, if you guys want to donate to this, if you guys want to donate for special content, if I can't be going outside unless you're going to be paid. Like, it was this time of year last year where all of that like really, really picked up. So that's what I'm keeping my eye on. Because with her, it's a lot of patterns. All right. Well, thank you all for being here. I really do appreciate it, especially when there was no notice. Oh, you see, she started complaining and suggesting a GoFundMe for a car. How did I know? How did I know? It's her season. It's her season of scams. I've said this before, but the chain of events last year was April was the 12-hour live stream, May was Bruce, June was Smokey, July was Sasa. That's how the schemes went last year. So a GoFundMe for a car is right on point. She's right on schedule. And I would not be surprised if she does it. All right. The wind seems to have died down, but other noise outside has picked up. So apologies if it's too loud in the background. All right, folks, it is, yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. It's right on brand and it's right on point as far as timing is concerned. So I'm curious to see about this whole visit with the mom and the sister today, because that seems a little bit odd considering her birthday is not until the 28th. The fact that she wants to rent a car for her birthday, like what is she planning? Something's going on. Okay, everyone. So it's getting really late on my end, but I thank you all for being here at this impromptu live stream and for chatting about Foodie and all of her antics. And we'll see what the girl does with her remonetization. Will she be able to keep it? Is it going to be short-lived? I have my thoughts, as well as all of the other things that she's doing as far as Salah goes, as far as her new medication goes, her doctors. There's a lot there. There's a lot there. And we will be talking about it all because we know she's going to deliver for sure. So thank you all again. I will be ending it here. And I hope to see you all again soon. Thank you so much for participating, for being here, and for making it a fun time. We could go on for hours and hours and hours talking about our girl, but we'll have other opportunities to do that. Thank you. Oh, it's her mother or her aunt's birthday? Um, that would make sense. She should go be seeing them, not them coming to her. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what that was all about. I'll take a look. All right, folks. Well, I hope you all have, depending on where you are, a good evening or a good day. Thank you. I appreciate all you and all of you very much for being here and for listening to the videos. And we will see each other soon. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Have a good day. And we will talk soon. Bye now. You too. Thank you.